you can really own your own destiny. You can do your own thing. You don't have to work for a big company. You can really choose the life that you want. And there's just so much possibility in e-commerce.
Welcome to Honest Ecommerce, where we're dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running an online business does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. If you're struggling with scaling your sales, Electric Eye is here to help. To apply to work with us, visit electriceye.io/connect to learn more. Now let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest Ecommerce. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and today welcoming to the show from Postscript, which, by the way, is one of our favorite apps out there for everyone that's listening. And I believe there's an ad at some point in this podcast about it to join our text messaging list that is powered by Postscript. So you get a double ad today because I remembered. But anyways, today we're welcoming to the show Alicia Thomas from Postscript. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Chase. Thanks so much for having me on the show.
Absolutely. It's been a fun partnership with you guys, watching your business grow alongside ours. I believe I just bumped into Alex at a meetup in Denver once, and that's how I became aware of the product.
Very cool. Yeah, it is an exciting time to be in any part of e-commerce right now. Things are definitely just on fire across the board. So yeah, happy we can connect.
Yeah, it's insane. Everyone, I believe, Q2 was about to start when kind of COVID hit its high in America. And I believe everyone's marketing strategy shifted to how can we do more with e-commerce?
Yeah, I mean, if you hadn't thought about e-commerce before, man, you had to get up and running fast just to survive. It has been so interesting to watch so many brick and mortar businesses decide to pivot and to try e-commerce. And some of them have been doing a great job. So yeah, it's been wild just to see the adoption rates that have just skyrocketed in the last, 6 months.
Absolutely. And then before you were at Postscript, I guess let's get a little bit of background. Let people know why they should listen to you, I guess.
Yeah. So before Postscript, I was an early employee at Klaviyo, which I'm sure many of your viewers are very familiar with, the email marketing platform. I joined and built out the content marketing engine over at Klaviyo. And then after a few years there running content, decided to move into a role that was community-based. So really telling the stories of our customers and teaching the world just about great e-commerce marketing through brands who are doing it the right way. So I've had a lot of experience working directly with brands and, helping them figure out the strategies to grow and telling their stories. I found out about Postscript and I said, oh, man, it's such an amazing opportunity to join a company that I really think is going to be the next big own channel for marketers. And I get to work with e-commerce folks again, who I love the community. There's just such great energy and wonderful people in e-commerce. So that's kind of how I found my way to Postscript. I've been in the e-commerce space for some time now, and I just love it.
Yeah, I can second that. The e-commerce ecosystem, and specifically, the world that I play in with the agency and the podcast, like this Shopify ecosystem, it is so awesome. That's why we are specifically in e-com. That's why we specifically kind of handle Shopify over at the agency. It's just was so amazing to meet these people, at the Shopify events when those happened. And we have people at Shopify we can actually talk to. And I never felt that way in any other industry or vertical in kind of the digital marketing space. When you'd have questions about the product or stuff like that, it wasn't as much of a community as I feel like Shopify did a great job building out their partner ecosystem early on and really building a community.
Yeah, I mean, I think, previous to being in e-commerce, I had worked in an enterprise MarTech space and really felt like the connections and the community wasn't there. And the ability that I can help someone figure out how to grow their brand and live a better life and be able to, own their own business. I think that just in terms of career stuff is just so fulfilling to be able to help individual people achieve their goals. And I really love that. It's about, you can really own your own destiny. You can do your own thing. You don't have to work for a big company. You can really choose the life that you want. And there's just so much possibility in e-commerce.
Absolutely. Want to get each new episode of Honest Ecommerce sent straight to your phone? Join our VIP texting list for updates on new episodes and exclusive deals from our partners. Text Honest VIP, that's HONEST VIP, to 72599 to join. By the way, we're powering our text messages with Postscript, the #1 text message marketing app for Shopify stores. Check out the show notes for a link to install Postscript for free today. So nowadays you are leading director of community at Postscript, and it's a great transition. We're talking about the community that is in the e-commerce ecosystem, but now you are running the community at Postscript, and you guys are on a mission over there. Do you want to give a little bit of insight on what your mission is?
Yes. So we are on a mission to teach the world how to use SMS marketing the right way. So we realize that there's a ton of interest in SMS, but it is also early days, and there's not a ton of education or resources about how to do it in a way that is empathetic and customer centric, as opposed to just, batch and blast campaigns or really just, pounding the inbox. So we want to help people really understand this new channel and build it out in a way that's intentional, as opposed to, there's so many ways that this could just go wrong, right, as marketers. And we really want to be there to help make sure that we preserve this channel and really respect that super personal inbox. Someone's text messages, we talk about open rates all the time in SMS. And I think that's a vanity metric for sure. But the fact that we're going directly into someone's personal inbox, I think definitely it's something we need to think about. And how do we do that in a way that is helpful and not spammy?
Yeah, it's so personal, and you kind of glossed over it there, but I'm going to ask a specific question. It's like, okay, your mission is how do we do things right? And we'll talk about some of the tools that you're offering, to help people do that. Free tools, by the way, everybody. But let's talk about what are some of the ways people are using SMS wrong, more specifically.
Yeah, I think we see a number of vendors who are like, oh, great open rates. I'm just going to, similar to email, like I'm just going to batch and blast and hit the list that I built every day, right? And you're going to get list fatigue and high unsubscribe rates, and you're going to just tick people off. I think when you're thinking about sending campaigns, is this worthy of getting someone's attention right now? And, should I even be sending 1 to 2 campaigns a week? That might even be a lot. So I think leading with sending too much, and then I think the default is like I'm just going to send promotions all the time, right? So I'm going to send like 20% off or 5% or flash sale, and really with a channel that's this personal, we're big believers that you want to continue to build that relationship and using the power of things like data to really segment and figure out what's the right message to send to a certain group of people based on past behavior. So things like conversational texts. I think of like Empathy Wines, which is a brand that Gary Vee, has launched a new wine brand. And they send things like, hey guys, it's Friday. We hope you're doing well. And, what are you doing to kick off the weekend, or crack open that bottle of wine? So it's more like somebody would text you as a friend. It really feels like a personal message. So I think that's a big part of the education here is like, it doesn't need to just be promotion. It can really be about community building in an intentional way. And that's a big part of the education that we're really passionate about.
This episode is brought to you by Klaviyo. Klaviyo helps brands deliver more personalized digital marketing experiences via email, SMS messages, social ads, and more. And since it's all driven by real-time e-commerce data, you can make sure every interaction feels more relevant. When you have a 360-degree view of the customer, the growth possibilities are endless. Visit klaviyo.com to schedule a demo. That's KLAVIYO.com. Yeah, so let's talk more about that education. You guys actually created, which I believe might be the first in the ecosystem, an SMS marketing certification program.
Yeah, so the world's first SMS marketing certification. It is not Postscript training. We wanted to create a resource that anyone who's interested in SMS or already is sending can go to and learn just the fundamentals of, how to send compliantly, what best practices look like, and be able to execute that in any way that they want to. Because we really believe that education is going to be so important to protecting the channel. We launched it just this past week, and folks have been really excited because there hasn't been a resource like this. You can sit down, block off 2 hours, start to finish, say, okay, I get it. I understand how to get up and running. I understand how to get opt-ins. I understand how to grow my list, as opposed to patching things together, reading a blog post here or there, watching a video. You can really sit down and feel like, okay, I got the crash course. I know how to do SMS when I'm ready to do it, or I know how I can improve.
So I just want to clarify here for the listeners. I could be on a competitor's product, but still find value in this.
Oh, absolutely. I think, early days, it's hard to build out a lot of education. And that's something where, we'd love for you to use Postscript, but if we can get people just sending better text and working on that positive end consumer experience, then by all means, please come and take the certification. We want just everyone to be doing this at a higher level.
That's amazing. And then, okay, I'm interested. Where do I go? What do I do?
Yeah, so it's super easy. All you have to do is go to postscript.io, and then the end is just SMS-marketing certification, or you can just Google SMS marketing certification. I believe we're result like 1 or 2. So super easy to find. And like I mentioned before, it's about 2 hours start to finish. But if you want to break it up and take a video course or a video module here or there and bounce in and out, you can totally do that too. We built it really to be flexible for your schedule. We know, especially right now when things are on fire and everyone's really busy, that the flexibility to be able to take the course at your leisure was super important.
Yeah, I will say that we are certified now. Our project manager, Andy, took it and took a lot of notes, and we kind of built that into some of the things that we tried to communicate with our clients over there. And it was a fun little course. So I would highly recommend doing it if it's something that you're looking to do. So let's say that I take the course and I've got the foundation started for my brand, and I'm curious to kind of see what other brands are doing. Man, I'm asking so many leading questions in this podcast today because I know the answers. Where should I go if I want to see some awesome examples of cool texts?
Yeah, so that was another, when I joined, another big struggle. People were like, man, you're talking about great SMS, but what does it look like? I wish there was a resource that just had tons of examples. So about a month and a half ago, we launched a website called reallygoodtext.com. Which you can check out. And it just has hundreds and hundreds of different really good examples of SMS and MMS text message marketing for you to go and learn and absorb and see how other leading brands are doing it. You can even break down by industry. So if you're a beauty brand and you want to see what other beauty brands are doing, you can click in and just see, by vertical, what folks are doing. We have it by campaigns and automation. So if you want to look at just, if someone's abandoned carts, you can look at that. So really, it's a resource that we're updating almost daily. I'm in there just adding really great examples just so people can feel like, you don't have to sit there and twiddle your thumbs and go, man, I have no ideas. You can get inspired by people who are already doing it in action.
Yeah, it's an awesome resource, and it's something that we share with people as we're helping them build these things out all the time. They're like, man, I just can't think of it. Let's be honest today, all of your customers are going to have questions. And what are you doing to manage all those questions? Do you have a help desk for your business? One of our sponsors of today's episode is Gorgias, and Gorgias is the #1 rated help desk for e-commerce. It integrates seamlessly with Shopify. We have installed it on a bunch of stores. It's also used by brands like Movement and Rothy's. And what it does is it takes all of your customer insights and information, brings it into one amazing dashboard so you can solve their problem as quickly as possible. If you want to give Gorgias a try, visit gorgias.link/honest. That's GORGIAS.link/HONEST to get your second month free. And I believe there's another website out there for those of you that are curious about what people are doing on email. That's pretty much, I think it's reallygoodemail.com as well as the other one that exists for people that are like curious about what some good looking email campaigns are. But yeah, I find that's like anytime we're helping a brand instill some of these automation systems within their business and try to educate them on how to do the non-automated stuff, the first question is like, well, do you have any examples? So thanks for producing, such an awesome resource for everybody.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, having worked in the email marketing space previously at Klaviyo, that was something that I constantly, when I was talking to merchants, is like, do you know someone else who's sending a great browse abandoned email sequence? And really good emails was always a great place to send people to get inspiration. So we're big fans of them. And we know many folks who use email marketing are going to be the ones who are using SMS at their company. So it really just made sense to create a resource inspired by that.
Absolutely. And then so before we go today, I do want to talk about something that is a little more specific to text messaging and kind of just not text messaging in general, but like it's the difference between how to view your text messaging campaigns versus kind of your email marketing campaigns? I feel like some people think they're the same thing, and I kind of want to just get an expert's opinion on kind of what is the truth there. How should they be thinking about it?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely should be sending both, but I think it's about thinking about that customer journey and experience, and it goes back to what really warrants an SMS campaign. I think you can get away with sending more frequent email campaigns just because that's what consumers are used to. But with SMS, I think it really comes down to the segments. And so I think about like VIP buyers is a great example. So if you already know you've got a segment of customers that either have purchased a certain amount of time or have spent a certain amount of money with you, that might justify sending them more messages because they're more likely to buy, or they're really, if you're big brand super fans, and they would be excited to get more messages. So I think it's really about thinking about who are you sending that message to, and are they going to find a lot of value from it? So I definitely think in SMS you can send a full list send every once in a while, but it's not something that I would evangelize to do on the regular, unless it made sense, right? So like a product release is something would be, worthy of sending a big campaign out. Or, if you had a complementary product, maybe segmenting by someone who's bought in something else and sending just to those folks. So really the power is in the data. I mean, that's for almost all e-commerce technology, right? Like how can we make this message really resonate with you? And the same goes for SMS, like meeting people where they are and based on their past behavior.
Absolutely. Now, is there anything that I forgot to ask you that you feel is worthwhile sharing with the audience today?
Yeah, I think a lot of folks say to me, when is it time for me to get started with SMS? Like, I don't know if we're ready for it yet. And the message I have for all those folks is just get started collecting compliant phone numbers. Like, even if you're not ready to start sending messages yet, if you can start building that list and start collecting those numbers and figure out kind of maybe what you want to do, that's a great place to start so that when you're ready, you've got people queued up who have compliantly opted in. So compliant subscribing is really important and something that I think, is a big reason that we did the SMS certification course, is just because it's unknown and really it's important. So I would say if you're on the fence, just start collecting phone numbers, and that's a great way to get started and meet you when you're ready.
Absolutely. I can second that. It is the same with email. If you're not there yet, just start collecting the emails. And it's the same with data. Like, start collecting the data before you need it. Make sure everything's set up the right way. It's like,
yeah,
you're going to thank your future self having the foundations in place before you can get to that part of the business. So I would definitely agree with you there. If people are interested in reaching out to you, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so they can reach me. I'm very active on Twitter. So if they want to reach me on Twitter, it's just at the Alicia Thomas. They can also reach me via email. Hey, why not? My inbox is open. So they just send an email to alicia@postscript.io. Happy to answer any SMS questions you have, and excited to help e-commerce brands really ramp up on this new channel.
Absolutely. And so in the show notes, I will post links to their awesome SMS marketing certification, and also to really good texts, even though that one should be pretty easy to get to. But they'll be in the show notes for everybody. Alicia, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thanks so much, Chase. This was a blast.
I cannot thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their journey and knowledge with us today. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our businesses. Links and more information will be available in the show notes as well. If anything in this podcast resonated with you and your business, feel free to reach out and learn more at electriceye.io/connect. Also, make sure you subscribe and leave an amazing review. Thank you.